are a band from Sussex in England. They have had a career since 1979 and are still going. Their frontman, Robert Smith, has quite a distinctive voice and is quite a wild voice in some ways, but it suits their style very well. So initially, their label tried to make them into a boy band, but after one album, they rebelled and they started going to a very dark place. They became one of the foundational bands of the goth movement. After three really depressing gothic albums, they floundered for a while, they lost some members, gained some more members, and then they reinvented themselves. Or, well, according to um, Robert Smith, he was deliberately allowing the band to be destroyed. Other perspectives say the head of the label persuaded them to have a reinvention. They successfully reinvented, they kept some of their darkness, but they added a pop sensibility to it. And so created their own particular brand of pop rock that still has got an edge of darkness, but was quite accessible compared to some of their darker stuff. So they went on to have lots of success and lots of albums. They've had 13 studio albums so far.
Hi, my name's Dan. So this is the seventh studio album of The Cure, and it's well into their more commercial phase, and it's my first time listening to it. It's a double album, and I would describe it probably as gothic pop. It's kind of goth rock, but in a more poppy sense, I guess. And I think that's kind of understood as where The Cure got to. So it's a mixture of more upbeat poppy numbers like Why Can't I Be You and Hot Hot Hot, and some more kind of goth rock tracks like The Kiss and Torture, which is a fairly dark name for a track. Is generally, especially in the kind of more goth stuff or more rock stuff, got a spacey sound. It's fairly reverbed. There's drums, obviously, which are sometimes relatively um, kind of spaced out or down in the mix. There's a tight bass sound, and then there's which is sometimes processed, and there's jangly guitars and some keyboards here, and kind of use of some. Uh, yeah, I don't know how to describe them. Gothic kind of sounds, but there's a certain kind of harshness um, to some of the sounds. Um, so I don't know how they achieve it. Somehow being quite a full sound and quite a lot going on, it's still got quite a bit of space to it. It's got this kind of yeah feeling of you're in a big room and the instruments are spread out in different places, but maybe it's a cathedral. And I think it is kind of down somewhat to echo and reverb, but also clear sonic separation. And there's brass in here as well, brass stabs. Interestingly, I like the sitar sound on "If Only Tonight We Could Sleep." Another great track name, actually, I would say. It just kind of gives that feeling of something's not quite right. There's recorder elsewhere. I think the sitar sound is probably a keyboard because there's no sitar listed in the credits of who played what. So mostly it's got this kind of darkness to sound and feel deliberately, of course. Robert Smith, as always, sounds quite tortured, and his voice has all the little kind of cracks and quirks to it that makes it very distinctive. And the songs, as you might imagine, are about life being difficult in an overdramatic way, or longing, or attraction from afar, or difficult relationships. And some of them are a little bit more um, upbeat. But even "Why Can't I Be You" is kind of longing for "You're better than I am" kind of songs. However, so there's something about it. It is kind of dark, but it doesn't make me feel depressed. And I'm trying to work out why it is. And um, so, so there's something about Robert Smith that I find quite likable. He's a bit like a depressed kitten, and I feel want to go, oh bless. And it's kind of it's darkness that's sweet. which is, I feel like, is the opposite of Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter, which is sweetness that's dark. And I think, yeah, kind of put my finger on it, it's the aesthetic of it. It's like a Tim Burton film. It's got kind of darkness, but it's also got colourfulness within that. And I think that's it. It's this kind of juxtaposition um, of sweet and dark, really. Uh, Perhaps I'm influenced because the Cure song that I know best is Love Cats, which is obviously quite a frivolous song. It's a good song. Maybe it's something to do with the upbeat songs. Maybe it's something to do with the fact that it's got quite a high voice. Um, Maybe the whole thing is self-parodying. That's a bit of a bold thing to say. Um, uh, so Robert's not above making silly vocal noises, which kind of emphasizes a little bit silliness in here. Uh, I like the fact that it does that. So actually, my kind of overall feel is I really enjoyed it. It's musically engaging. It's well done. It's bizarrely fun, but I think that I'm not taking them seriously. Is that bad? I don't know, but I'm starting to really enjoy The Cure, I have to say. I think that they're musically very competent and produce a very kind of tailored sound, which works really well. So, anyway, that's what I think about this album. What do you think? I'd love to know. Please do tell me, and you can do that by leaving a comment. That's it for me for now.
If only tonight we could sleep